I'm Kevin Smith with Crescat Capital, and I'm here with David Stein from Kuya Silver. And we're at the Beaver Creek Precious Metals Summit. And so David is CEO of Kuya Silver, and they have a company that we're invested in at Crescat, and they have a production story. They're going into production in Peru. And as most people will know with Crescat, we invest in a lot of exploration stories, but this is actually one of our production stories, and it's not even a development story. They are going into production. They've already gone into production at their Bethania mine in Peru. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So we announced first ore production from Peru, from the Bethania silver mine, very recently, a couple months ago, and we're in the process of ramping up right now. So we've got a development plan that'll take us about another 12 months-ish to get to our initial target run rate, which is about 350 tons per day. Now, if you look at the grades in our PEA we put out a few years ago, that should give us around 1.2 to 1.5 million ounces a year of silver equivalent production. And that's our kind of starter operation. That's what we've permitted, and that's what we want to do to get into production, and then use that cash flow to start growing the operation. Lots of exploration upside. We've done very little exploration, even though we control a big silver vein district, and we have the ability to build our own mill at some point. Okay, we're toll milling right now. We'll build our own mill, we already have a mill permitted, and then expand on that over the next 3 to 5 years, and we think we can make this a really big silver mining, district in central Peru.
Nice. Silver, of course, is in high demand right now. I think demand has been exceeding supply now for the last 2 years because there's not a lot of silver mines in production out there in the world, and we have this new demand from electric vehicles and solar panels and this whole environmental push for decarbonization. The world needs silver, and photovoltaics, solar panels, use a lot of silver. And it's not, it used to be that when they stopped using silver in photography and went to digital cameras, it's like, well, what are we going to do with all this silver? Well, the world has a need for it now in an industrial use, and there's not a lot of producing silver mines out there. You have one that's going into production. Talk about the value opportunity relative to some of the other silver producers out there.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And actually, I think in Peru, where we are, the silver production's actually declined quite a bit over the last few years. Mines shut down, or maybe they're mining lower grades, or whatever the reason. It's and so there is a big opportunity, and there's not a lot of supply. With our mine, and so beyond the supply-demand story, I think there's a really interesting valuation story with silver companies as well. There's so few of them out there. There might be 10 to 12 primary silver producers that are publicly traded companies in the entire world. Mm-hmm. And so when investors do get bullish on silver, they will funnel into very few companies. That drives up their valuations. And you're already seeing that a little bit here and there. Some of the companies that are in production already, are trading at, 50, 80 times last year's EBITDA, for example. The market clearly is projecting a lot of growth on those companies, but even some of the cheaper ones are still, 8 to 10 times. Today we're about a $25 million market cap, US dollars I'm talking, and so there's a huge opportunity to get recognized as one of those silver companies. It's an elite club, and we're just about to join that club, which is really exciting.
Nice. Some of these other companies, Silvercrest, Aya, what are some of the other ones?
MAG, First Majestic, Endeavor.
Mm-hmm. So these are the comparables, and they're trading at what times EBITDA?
Well, between 8 would be the lowest, and there's up to 80 on 2023 EBITDA.
Wow.
Yeah. So companies that were in production all year, full year last year, and obviously some of them have some pretty big valuations.
exciting indeed, because there's not a lot of new production stories out there that are pure silver focused, and Kuya Silver has one. We're excited at Crescat too, because we own a private company that's a big silver producer, but we're not here to talk about that right now. But so David, you also have a new silver discovery up in Ontario.
Right.
That's also pretty exciting. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think our shareholders kind of get the Ontario project, the Silver Kings project, for free. I think as we just discussed, you can more than justify a lot of upside in our stock just with Bethania, but the Silver Kings project is really exciting. I think a lot of there was a lot of silver production there in the 20th century. Then about 30, 40 years of nothing. This is the silver cobalt camp in Northern Ontario. We've put together a big land package by making some acquisitions with a few other junior companies, and we made a blind discovery last year. Drilled through 200 meters of barren rock and hit 15,000 grams per ton over 3.3 meters. So that was our discovery hole last year. We're kind of drilling that out now, as well as we have some other zones. Now that we've kind of cracked the code there in terms of where you can find these blind silver deposits, we think we can now duplicate that as well in other zones. So we could have more. We could have several of these on our property, and just a matter of time to go and drill those. And we're actually drilling right now. So we will have drill news over the course of the fall and into the end of the year here. And so we should have a lot of activity. We're going to be putting out news about Bethania as we ramp up production and start hitting milestones there, and then also in Canada.
Nice. Quentin, who's Crescat's geologic and technical director, was when they made the discovery in the Cobalt District. He was like super excited because it's a famous silver district, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I think where kind of people have gone wrong historically is that they're hoping to find another one of these near surface silver veins, but they produce more than 500 million ounces in the 20th century from this camp, and I think all the near surface silver, or the silver that's right at surface, is gone. They found it. The prospectors found it. But what we're doing now, which is different, and I don't think anyone's done this before, is we're going after silver targets that are at depth, where there isn't necessarily a silver vein sticking out at surface, and that's where we found
you're having success in
the Angus vein discovery. Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. We'll look forward to hearing more about that. And anything else you want to leave the audience with in general about Kuya Silver?
Well, we've got big management ownership, including myself. So we run it like investors, and we're just trying to create shareholder value. I think, as I said before, we've got two great projects, either one of which could justify our market cap. So it's a great opportunity, and with silver looking good as well, it's a good time to look at Kuya.
All right, Kuya Silver, and you guys trade on the TSX, or
we're on the CSE, and on the OTCQB.
Okay.
If you want to buy us in U.S. dollars. Okay,
that's great. David Stein with Kuya Silver. Encourage you to go to their website and check out their corporate presentation, and Crescat is an investor in Kuya Silver, and it's one of our exciting growth opportunities going into production right now. All right, thanks.
Thanks, Kevin.